Hello dear students, how are you? I hope you all are safe at home. Dear students, today I will teach you other Mughal emperors, Jahangir, Shahjahan, Aurangzeb. Okay students, first of all about Jahangir, who ruled India from 1605 to 1627. Jahangir means conqueror of the world, whose original name was Salim, was the son of Akbar and the Rajput princess Jodha Bai. During his reign, he followed the policy of his father and expanded the Mughal Empire. Challenges before Jahangir. What were the challenges? These are revolt by his son Prince Khusro in alliance with Raja Man Singh at Lahore. Strained relationship with the Sikhs because Guru Arjan Dev was executed for supporting Prince Khusro in rebellions. Loss of Kandahar to the Persians. Bid for independence by Ahmednagar in Deccan. Now about Noor Jahan. In 1611, Jahangir married Mehrunisa. Who was Mehrunisa? Mehrunisa was the daughter of one of his nobles, who assumed the title of Noor Jahan. Noor Jahan means world of light of the world. She played an important role in court policies, and within a short span of time, she became powerful. She and her family held important posts in administration, and her powerful tactics led to the issuing of coins in her name. Now, relations with the Europeans. During his rule, the English ruler James I sent two of his ambassadors. First was Captain William Hawkins and second was Sir Thomas Roe to gain trade concession from Jahangir. He gave the English permission to set up a trading factory at Surat. Now about Shah Jahan, who ruled India from 1628 to 1658. Shah Jahan was the title adopted by Prince Khurram when he ascended the throne after his father's late years. He came in open conflict step, within his stepmother Noor Jahan. During his father's rule, he led several military campaigns, and after his father's death, he continued with the expansion policy of his grandfather Akbar. Not all his campaigns after he became king achieved success, although he was successful in suppressing the Bundelkhand revolt by the Rajput chief Jujhar Singh, capturing independent kingdoms of Ahmednagar, Golconda, Bijapur, but he could not achieve much in northwest. Now about Aurangzeb, who ruled India from 1658 to 17 CE. He is also known the king of 17th century. Shah Jahan had four sons, Darashikoh, Shuja, Murad and Aurangzeb, whom when he fell ill in 1657 CE, a war of succession broke out amongst Shah Jahan's sons. Aurangzeb emerged victorious and crowned himself in 1658. He assumed the title of Alamgir. He had a dream of bringing whole of Indian subcontinent under his rule, and Mughal Empire extended its boundaries during this period. However, he had to face rebellions and revolts from many camps, including the Marathas, Sikhs, Jats, and the Rajputs. And chief oppositions to his rule came from the Maratha leaders Shivaji. His content wars with rebel groups depleted the royal treasury, and eventually, after his death, Mughal Empire lost its charm. Now about Mughal court. The Sultan were powerful who decided the administration, military, legal, and other political matters of the kingdom. He continued themselves as the shadow of the god. The Mughal Empire follows the Persian traditions. Nobles and officials bow to the ruler. The Diwan-e-Am was for the meeting with general public, and Diwan-e-Khas was the hall for special guests of the king. Now Mughal administration and key offices. In order to run the administration in a successful manner, Sultan had to take the support of his nobles. For that he needed some trusted nobles. Diwan-e-Wazir, Diwan-e-Ariz, Diwan-e-Insa and Diwan-e-Risala were the top offices held by the nobles. Wazir was the top in the hierarchy of the nobles, who looked after Diwan-e-Wazir, means Department of Finance of the administration, and had the duty of the overall supervision of other departments. The Arza Mumalik looked after Diwan-e-Ariz and military affairs. He controlled the army and the maintenance and organization was his task. Diwan-e-Mumalik was in charge of Department of Correspondence and Records. Sadr looked after Diwan-e-Risalat as Department of Religious Matters. Now about Mansabdari system. The Mansabdari system introduced by Akbar is a standout feature of the Mughal administration. It was a grading system used by Mughals to decide rank, salary, and military responsibilities. The ranks were divided into two, namely Jat and Sawar. Jat fixed the personal status of a person and salary due to him, and the king used the troops of Mansabdar at a time of war. Now about agrarian relations. Raja Toderman was chief architect of Akbar's revenue system. He introduced a system as known as Toderman's Bandobast. The state land and was divided into different categories as per its fertility, like Pulaj, Paroti, Chahar and Banzar. Palaz was fertile, Paroti was less fertile of Palaz, and on third number was Paroti. And Banzar was the unit of land which was measured as with the Bigha was the unit of land which was measured with the help of bamboo sticks. Now about major literary sources for the Mughal period. Literary sources of Mughal period means from where we get to know about Mughals. Which books are there? Tazuk-e-Babari, this is a Babar's autobiography. Humayun-Nama, a biography of Humayun, written by his sister Gulbadan Begum. Akbar-Nama and Ain-e-Akbari, written by Abul Fazl. Mumtak-ba-ul-Twarik was written by Badauni. Tazuk-e-Jahangiri, the autobiography of Jahangir. written by Abdul Hamid Lahori. Futuhat-e-Alamgiri, written by Isar Das Nagar, and some foreigner accounts were there. The foreigner writers who came during Mughal period, they give interesting information about them. Those were Thomas Rowe, Ralph Fitz, William Hawkins, etc. So students, this lesson is over. You will listen this lesson carefully. You will read the lesson carefully. You will learn. You will write the question answers also. You will do worksheet also, and you will learn it also. Okay, students. Bye. Stay home. Stay safe.